Huge spoilers ahead, turn away if you're not ready to watch about Rebirth's ending. Here's your spoiler warning.
Oh, abort! Tactical retreat!
So I'm not quite ready to review Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I want to do some more. It's quite a challenging one to talk about and I'm still processing a lot of my thoughts. Overall, I think I'm very positive about Rebirth, but till that's ready, I want to share my raw thoughts on Rebirth's ending. I see a lot of conflicting voices about it. It's either good or bad, so I want to chip in.
And so it begins.
I'm not going to tell you this ending was a perfectly executed masterpiece.
You'd better.
And I'm not going to tell you it's awful. It's not that black and white. Parts of this are incredible. Other parts slip up and miss the mark set by the original Final Fantasy VII. But overall, it was a roller coaster. I was shocked and overwhelmed with nostalgia. I mean, we don't even witness Aerith's burial in Rebirth, which is an iconic Final Fantasy VII scene that was even recreated in Advent Children. How can you not have that, but at the same time, make so many references and attempts to keep so many small things faithful throughout the majority of the story? But yeah, for me, the ending of Rebirth was a roller coaster of awesome highs as well as lows. But I think this ending is going to be very confusing for someone who's not a fan of the original Final Fantasy VII. Never mind someone with an understanding of the crazy fate elements introduced in Remake. Gonna break down my thoughts piece by piece, then we'll gather all the pieces together in reunion and talk about this as a whole.
Thought lost to time.
City of the Ancients. So straight into it, we're just thrown into the Sleeping Forest and the City of the Ancients, which is now slightly north of the Temple of the Ancients, that's now moved to the northern continent. Bit odd, but I don't mind too much. We don't get to explore the City of the Ancients, which is filled with a haunting, mysterious atmosphere that has you on edge, building suspense as you work your way to finding Aerith. This could be something we could do in part 3 of the remake, when we should return to this place, but we're just kinda thrown in here and rushed to Aerith. And yeah, this bit does feel a bit rushed, and it would have been nice to explore this place without whispers everywhere. Aerith's fate. I actually really like this scene. I know not everyone is a fan. In my mind, I want Aerith to die to be faithful to Final Fantasy VII, but in the back of my mind, I wanted her to live. This is Rebirth. So I was conflicted. Sephiroth descending from above, this was all happening in super slow motion for me. Cloud manages to break free of Sephiroth's control and fate. This new scene here is gorgeous, and Cloud manages to clash with Sephiroth, and there's this intense sword struggle. The suspense was insane. Sephiroth is pushed aside and Aerith is saved. And I was shocked. In fact, so much I paused the game. But that is until we then see the blood on Sephiroth's sword. While this scene in the original is really slick and efficient, it catches you off guard and horrifies you. While in Rebirth it's a little slower. There's a little bit of a delay with these new elements. We even swapped to the other party for a few seconds, but I'll admit, they got me real good with this little twist. There's a few small changes here, but I like how they do the rest of this scene for the most part.
After all, you're just a puppet.
Jenova Lifeclinger. Just like the original, Aerith's theme continues to play as Jenova attacks us.
Heads up!
Perfect, just as it should be, but this time Aerith's theme doesn't last the entirety of the fight. The music eventually transitions into an incredible new Jenova theme, and I thought this was a badass boss fight. It draws reference from Final Fantasy VII's Jenova Absolute's location, while adding in the mechanic from the Bizzaro Sephiroth fight, where our party splits up and takes it in turns attacking Jenova from different sides. Visually amazing, the over-the-top cinematic moments were jaw-dropping. Thing is, at this point we could have just buried Aerith and ended the game with a strong ending. But that's not what happened. Quickly, really want to level up my subscriber count because that's going to unlock early review copies of games. Giving it 110%, but my Rebirth review is going to be so late. Really would appreciate if you guys can help me unlock early review copies of games. That would make such a huge difference, thank you. Zack and Cloud versus Sephiroth. So we then transition to Zack, who with sheer will manages to break into Cloud's reality.
So, I hear you've been pretty busy.
Possibly the edge of creation, where Cloud and Sephiroth are going to face off again just like the end of Remake. A little confusing, a little convoluted, a little fan service, but okay, I'm with this. It's pretty epic the two of them fighting together with the new synergy attacks, and the game's been hinting at Zack playing a part since the end of Remake. I think defeating Sephiroth again kinda makes him less threatening as a villain. We shouldn't truly be fighting him till the end of part 3, but okay, I can work with this, it's pretty epic. Again, I think you could have buried Aerith and ended the game here and it would have been fantastic. Bizzaro Sephiroth. Now, this is where for me, things really took a dive. Zack and Cloud get split apart, and then Bizzaro Sephiroth appears, dubbed Sephiroth Reborn, and I was just kind of bewildered because this is the true Sephiroth's form, as he's ascending into godhood after being awoken after his ultimate victory in the Northern Crater, which hasn't happened yet. Just like in the original, it has to be the true Sephiroth that gets the black materia, not a black robe.
What in the hell is going on?
Bizzaro is the first phase of the final boss of Final Fantasy VII, so what is he doing here? Isn't this kind of goofing up part 3 of this remake? Is this Bizzaro Sephiroth from another reality? Probably because we end up fighting him with 3 teams across 3 realities, and it's not an amazing boss fight, especially compared to Jenova Lifeclinger. The next phase is Cloud vs Sephiroth with Aerith coming in to help. I'm still confused, I thought the Aerith from the other reality had been murdered by Sephiroth.
What in the hell is going on?
I'm guessing we now have 3 Aeriths from 3 different realities based on there now being even more alternative Stamp the Dogs. I'm not sure I like that, but I think this scene could have worked if it was in the next remake part 3 after we've had some time to confirm and accept Aerith's death. It absolutely does not work straight after we've watched Aerith die, and it takes away from the moment. There's no burial scene for our dead Aerith, like I said, an iconic Final Fantasy VII scene that was even recreated in Advent Children. How can you not have that? And I think it was a design decision to trick you into thinking that Aerith is still alive, because we then see Aerith sitting next to Cloud, but quickly learn that only Cloud can see her. Like she's a ghost, but this is actually a third reality Aerith, I think. It's so convoluted and it doesn't make sense, it's off the rails. I wonder if they're trying to tie this into the ghost of Aerith you can find in Final Fantasy VII's church, or the spirit of Aerith in Advent Children. I think I understand where they're going with this, but I just feel it was poorly executed. And at the very least, we should have had a pause between her death and all this convoluted stuff. It's such a pity because, as far as I'm concerned, they nailed the ending twice, but went for that third ending spot and I don't like it as much as the others. The twist with Zack at the end of Remake was shocking and good. Sadly, this one with Aerith at the end of Rebirth is too soon, and I think it takes away from the impact of her death, literally minutes ago. I am not a huge fan of multiverse storytelling. I was on board for the Zack stuff at the end of Remake, but having duplicate characters, I don't really like that. One other thing I want to talk about is Aerith's alternative world and how she speaks to Cloud in a dreamlike world of the Sleeping Forest, just like in the original game. I like how they drew from the original game to recreate this scene. I can kind of see how Sephiroth and Aerith entering Cloud's dreams in Final Fantasy VII are almost precursors to their new powers surrounding Fate in Rebirth. So there you have it. Overall, I am happy. I kind of look past some of the bits I don't like to the awesome bits. Disappointed with the City of the Ancients, but at least there's a chance we could explore it in part 3. I personally like the scenes dealing with the fate of Aerith and was on the edge of my seat waiting to see what would happen this time. I think Jenova Lifeclinger was an incredible boss fight. Zack and Cloud vs Sephiroth, epic, and we knew they were going to be doing something with Zack after defeating Fate in Remake. I don't really like Bizzaro Sephiroth's early appearance and fighting him across 3 realities. And alternative Aerith helping Cloud fight Sephiroth has got to be the lowest point in the ending for me, and a little disappointed we didn't get the iconic scenes of Aerith being buried in the City of the Ancients. Right, gotta crack on with more of my review and 100%ing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That has been some of my raw, unprocessed thoughts on Rebirth's ending. What do you think of Rebirth's ending? Let me know in the comments, and peace.